The clockmaker who stopped time. There was once a town where nothing ever rushed. No traffic, no shouting, no urgent footsteps down the street. Even the wind seemed to take its time, drifting slowly, like it had nowhere particular to go. And right at the center of that quiet town was a clock tower, tall, gentle, and old. It had no chimes, only a warm, golden face that turned slowly with the movement of the sun. And inside that tower lived a clockmaker. She was small, quiet, and always working. The kind of woman people greeted softly, like not to disturb the rhythm of her thoughts. She wore thick glasses, soft grey sweaters, and always smelled faintly of oil, paper, and peppermint. She had lived in the tower for as long as anyone could remember. Some said she'd been born there. Others said she simply arrived one day, carrying a suitcase full of silence and an old pocket watch. Either way, she belonged to the tower, the way ivy belongs to old stone. And she spent her days making time, not just fixing watches or winding clocks. She built time in tiny, careful pieces, as if it was something delicate and rare, a thing to be shaped, not spent. In the mornings, she would open the windows and let the sky decide what kind of day it would be. If it was foggy, she made time, measured in the space between footsteps. If it rained, she made time, perfect for warm socks and thinking of old friends. And if the sun was shining, she made time, quick and curious, like a child chasing birds in the square. She sold her clocks to those who needed them, but only after asking one question. What kind of time are you hoping for? And then she would listen, really listen, to the way they sighed, to what they didn't say. And days later, they'd return to find a timepiece made just for them. A watch that ticked softly enough to soothe a restless heart. A kitchen clock that made tea always seem just ready. A travel clock for someone who hadn't moved in years. She never explained how. She only smiled, handed over the time, and returned to her tools. But one day, something changed. She stopped taking orders, stopped answering her door, The tower's windows stayed shut, even on bluebird sky days. And the town grew uneasy. Not because the clock stopped. They didn't. But because she was the one person who understood time. And now she was hiding from it. Some whispered that she was ill. Others thought she was building something. And both were right. Because in the quiet belly of the tower, she was working on her final clock. A clock unlike anything she had ever made. No gears, no pendulum, no hands. This one was made to stop. She had lived a long time. A good time. But over the years, she had watched people rush through life, as though time were a test, and stillness a weakness. And she had grown tired. Tired of ticking. Tired of watching the world chase minutes, while forgetting the moment they were in. So she built a clock that would end it. Not life, not light. Just movement. One turn of this key, and time, everywhere, would simply pause. No one would age, no one would race. The soup would never boil over. The child would never grow cold on the swing. The goodbyes would never need to be said. She imagined it, like a sigh that never ended. Like falling asleep inside a memory and choosing not to wake up. And when the clock was ready, she took it up the tower's spiral stairs, one slow step at a time. It was heavy, beautiful, and so very still. She reached the top, opened the hatch, and placed the clock where the sky could see it. The wind stirred her hair. The town below ticked on, unaware, as she held the final key in her palm. She closed her eyes and waited. But something unexpected happened. Nothing. No birdsong, no trembling of the tower, no shift in the air. Just her heartbeat. Steady, real, alive. And it said, "You're not finished yet." She opened her eyes and wept. Not from sadness, but from remembering how much she still loved this world. The noise, the change, the time that never stayed. Because maybe time was beautiful, because it moved. She sat there for a long while. And when she climbed back down, she left the still clock where it was. Not as a weapon, but as a reminder. And she went back to making time. Not to control it, but to honor it. To craft it lovingly, in teaspoons and stardust for those who needed it most. Today, if you ever visit the town, you'll find the tower still standing. You'll hear a warm tick in every window. And if you ask the right questions, the clockmaker will open her door and smile in a way that makes you feel like the world has paused just for you. And in a way, maybe it has. Because sometimes, to stop time, all you really need is someone to hold it. Gently. This was the clockmaker who stopped time. And now, sweet dreams and sleep tight. Good night. And maybe see you again tomorrow for another mindful bedtime story.